Home of the Bearcats, a football team trying to regain its swagger, its place in college football. But up against a hot quarterback in Temple's Frank Newtile, who played very well last week versus Navy. Cincinnati wants to go bowling, and so does Temple. And yes, the Owls, even with a new coach, are still Temple tough. It's UC versus the Owls, coming at you right now. You are watching the American Conference on ESPN2. Tonight we welcome you to Nippert Stadium, right in the middle of the University of Cincinnati campus for this American Conference matchup. A beautiful way to start, a perfect night for football, temperature right around 30 degrees. Hello again, everybody, along with Mac Brown and Alex Cordry. I'm Dave Lamont, and we thank you very much for joining us. You know, 6 is a big number tonight. Both these teams are trying to get to 6 wins, trying to get to that magic number for bowl eligibility. Bearcats have to win out. Temple, 2 of 3, and they've got UCF on the road next week, or rather in Temple. Nevertheless, it's a tough matchup for the Owls. So to honor the number 6 tonight, we present our look at the game, 6 in 60.
Coach Fickle grew up in Ohio, attended Ohio State, he coached at Ohio State, and he drove 109 miles south on Highway 71 to become the head coach at Cincinnati.
Redshirt freshman Jared Dokes is coming off a career game, rushing for 149 yards on 17 carries. He's a powerful downhill running back who's known for his speed.
UC not only needs Hayden Moore's arm talent, they need him to run. He's a willing runner, but that will be tested by the Temple defense.
Coach Collins is a great friend of previous Temple head coach Matt Rule. Matt believed in the Temple tough attitude, and Coach Collins is continuing that tradition.
Temple's leading receiver is Isaiah Wright with 33 catches for 502 yards. He's also running some Wildcat, giving the Owls the right option.
They call him Frankie Juice, and last week he provided the electricity versus Navy. Is he a one-hit wonder or Temple's newest flavor? And our game begins with a penalty for the kickoff going out of bounds. So Cincinnati off to a bad start right there.
Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Adam Savoy is our referee tonight, and we bring out now Frankie Newtile, the redshirt junior from Wayne, New Jersey, who had a fantastic start last week against the Naval Academy and a very impressive win for Temple. Jeff Collins, the head coach for the Owls, said it was their best game so far this season. We'll see what Frankie can do tonight. Right across the seam, and it's complete and into Cincinnati territory immediately. The tight end, Chris Myrick, and again, Matt getting that great field position, and all of a sudden, one play, they're in the zone.
Well, great play call to open this game for Temple because they've talked about being more physical. Downhill run, they fake the ball off tackle, draw the linebacker up, and throw it to the big tight end behind him.
David Hood motions out of the backfield.
Empty set. Cleans it up for the quarterback.
Newtile will throw, long throw, catch. No, it's intercepted by Cincinnati. Coming away with it there is number 29.
Pass is intercepted by number 29,
Marquise Taylor comes up with the pick after the pass shot up from the receiver. First down, Cincinnati.
Well, these are things you can't do. You go on the road. You got to get a good start. They get a great play call to start the game. Good first down. They come back. They throw a ball to one of their best receivers, Adonis. It hits him right in the hands. He pops up. It's a cold night. Alert interception for Cincinnati.
So Taylor, just a freshman from the Atlanta area who they said was likely to play more tonight, comes up with his first pick of the year. Only the 9th takeaway for UC this season. And they now have the football at their own 49-yard line with Hayden Moore at quarterback, number 8, and Mike Boone, the tailback. Five-step drop, throw, way over everybody's head, probably thrown away. It'll be second down and 10.
The forced pass is incomplete and out of bounds. It is intended for number 85, Thomas Geddes.
So Hayden Moore out of Clay, Alabama. You see his numbers, a little bit around 56%, almost 2,000 passing yards. And they'll ask him to run the ball a little bit tonight. He averages 3 yards per carry, and he scored 3 rushing touchdowns. Now 2 backs. Jared Dokes joins. And Boone motions out. I hear whistles, and we have a flag down.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Dave, it's a really cold night. It's in the low 30s. Both of these teams have struggled. They both coming off wins from last week. A lot of pressure on them because they've got to win out, basically. 2 out of 3 for Temple and all 3 for Cincinnati. And they both started poorly. We kick it out of bounds. We have a turnover, and now motion penalties are started on the second down for Cincinnati.
And everybody wants to tell you that they're taking one game at a time, but I'm not sure if either one of us completely buys that. Now here's a middle screen. Going to be caught by Boone, and Temple all over it. Boone may get a couple of yards there before he's driven out of bounds. We're looking now at long yardage to go here on third down.
Said they didn't want to be in third and long. Here we are in the first series, third down and long. This is where they have trouble protecting. And you'll see the cornerbacks for Temple are man up. They're press man because they don't feel like the receivers from Cincinnati can get separation.
Temple has 27 sacks on the year, second best in the American Conference. They rush 6. Long throw trying to get to the tight end Cogswell, and it was well covered by Sean Chandler, the senior safety, and a really good one. So Cincinnati cannot take advantage of the turnover, and they will bring out the punt team. James Smith, one of the many punters out of Australia in college football these days, kicking to Isaiah Wright. Good snap, a little bit of pressure. Temple's very good at blocking kicks. And this one, though, what an ideal kick. The left footer hooks that, and it goes out at the 10-yard line. So a shaky start for both sides, Temple and Cincinnati. And the Owls have a long way to go to get the touchdown. Well, Mac already touched on it. It is a cool evening, to be polite, here in Cincinnati. And this game will finish with the temperatures in the 20s. Now, there's no threat of precipitation, and it doesn't appear to be much wind, which will be a little bit easier for Frank Newtile and for Hayden Moore to throw the ball tonight. You see, Newtile has not had a lot of playing time in his Temple career and didn't start the season as the #1 quarterback. He'll hand off to David Hood, and Hood goes right up the gut before he gets to the 14-yard line for a solid 4. Jalen Miner, the leading tackler, joined by Carter Jacobs, the senior safety, number 20, on the stop. It's up second down and 6. Now Nick Sharga, number 4, has come in. He's just in front of Newtile to the right of the quarterback. Big blocking fullback, and you can see that they followed him into the hole for a 3-yard pickup to the 17. So here comes third down and 3. Lyndon Johnson, Cortez Broughton on the stop.
Now this was the game plan for Temple. They're going to come out, put number 4, face up on the linebacker, try to knock everybody off the line of scrimmage and be the most physical team. They've ended up in third down and short, exactly where they wanted to be.
This is a tight formation here for the Owls on 3rd and 3. Follow the blockers. They go student body right, and it'll be Hood fighting for additional yards. He'll be gang tackled at the 25, but it's a gain of 8, and will be a first down for the Owls.
This is exactly what the doctor ordered. Get those big linemen out on the corner, pull the tight end. Got your back, Hood turning up. Really good block by Robinson.
A lot of movement here before the snap. Neither of these teams play the super fast tempo very often. Hood again plays very nicely off the block. That's a solid 5, almost 6 yards before Miner, the senior from Navasota, Texas, in there again, number 33 in black on the stop.
Both of these teams have had trouble finding their identity on offense. Temple thinks their identity after their great game with Navy last week is be physical and run downhill,
which has been their identity for several years. Newtile, little run pass option here, will dump it off, but Cincinnati was all over that. as Minor got into David Hood very quickly for a loss back to the 29. So now 3rd down and 6. Minor off to a fast start for UC. He'll be around 90 tackles already. He may get to 100 by the end of the night for the season. Rockwell Armstead, number 7, is now in tailback. Very experienced player, very good one for the Owls over the years. Pressure up the middle. I think he's out of bounds. Either way, it's a loss. At that time, the pressure got to Newtile, and Marquise Copeland made the stop. But a lot of pressure generated by the Bearcats defense, and Temple will punt. Perry Young got in there.
There's a 5-man blitz by Cincinnati. They actually played man that time. They're worried about matching up with the speed of Temple, but that was the first time they really locked up man and brought him after the quarterback.
Alex Starzyk, a senior from New York, Pleasant Valley, New York, is in the punt. Devin Gray averages about 7 yards a return, hanging around the 30-yard line. Good kick. Max Gray up, 24. Has some room to work, this Gray. Gets to the outside, to the 50. Got a nice block, 40 down the sideline, and Gray will go! But there's a flag down at the 40-yard line. Likely, this is going to come back.
There's a penalty marker down.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 16. 10-yard penalty. 1st down. Timeout.
That's Derek Forrest who was hit with that penalty, a freshman out of Columbus, Ohio. So that exciting play, it never happened. 10:05 remaining. Cincinnati will have the ball.
College football, brought to you by Chevy, the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row.
We're always delighted to give you a look at some of the brave men and women from around the nation and around the world sporting their school colors. This is the week we honor all of America's heroes who have served and are currently serving in our nation's armed forces. Mac, let's go back and take a look at the block in the back that erased 6 points off the board.
But first, it's a low punt. It's right down the hash mark. He outkicked his coverage. Then as he's coming back, I don't think it was a penalty. He hit him on the side. I don't think it deserved coming back.
Dokes with the carry there. He'll get 3 before Temple brings him down. So we'll get a look at Garrett Dokes. We talked about him at the top of the show. Redshirt freshman out of Indianapolis, not very far from Cincinnati. Came into the game with exactly 500 yards. And against Tulane last week, he had his best game so far. Dokes again. And following the tight end Cogswell, Dokes is going to be very close, but a little short, it appears, of the 1st down.
But this is what Coach Fickle wanted. He said, for us to win the game, we have to be the most physical team. He's lined up and run the ball up the middle twice. Now he's going quick tempo.
And it's Dokes again. Oh, he took on a tackler and drove him back. He ran into Jacob Martin, number 9, who's a terrific end, and just knocked him back for the 1st down.
3 plays that are very similar with inside zone. You just line up. It's me against you at short yardage. Knock them out of there. Low pads wins. And he makes the 1st down.
Speaking of low pads, number 3, Michael Warren, the 2nd, has come in now. One of 3 running backs we'll see the Bearcats use tonight. And is a stout 5'10", 212 freshman. He'll get it. And again, he plays off the block, and Warren lowers his shoulder, and he should and does have a 1st down, an 11-yard pickup into Temple territory. Chandler on the stop.
Sounds like after they threw the ball 3 of the first 4 times, Coach Fickle said, okay, boys, line up and run the football. That was a power play, had a lead blocker.
Now, let me correct myself here, Mac. The official on the far side had a 1st down, but they spotted him at the 50, so they're a yard shy. It's 2nd down and 1. again. Tight end with a wham block, and it's a first down as Warren shows you that lower leg strength to the 44-yard line. Looks like one of those guys that gets in the weight room and is a very, very exciting guy to watch.
Yeah, 5'10", 212-pounder, runs low to the ground. Mr. Football in the state of Ohio, very, very hard to tackle.
Now they bring back Mike Boone. Mac, I'm not surprised to see this, and I expect it from both teams. These teams really want to establish themselves as the tougher team tonight. Fake to Boone. Quick throw. It's Cogswell, the tight end. Will fight for a couple, but that's going to be it. Chandler with another stop.
And sometimes you've got to be careful not to talk yourself out of something that's working. We used to say repeat successful plays. RSP, man. If it's working, do it again, do it again. So why run it for a first down? 9 on first down on second down, and then you throw a pass in the flat for 3 yards.
Now Dokes and Boone, backfield tandem. This will be Boone making a miss in a lot of traffic. Flag down. He'll get to the 37 before Martin brings him down. Let's check on the penalty. It's going to be a holding call, most likely against the Bearcats. The referee either didn't turn on his mic or might need a new battery. Maybe the battery just froze over. Either way, they're backing them up.
Coach Fickle's team had 12 penalties at Tulane last week. He wasn't very happy with the officials or his team or his assistant coaches, I think. He talked about even trying to get officials out to practice so they could emphasize no penalties, and the penalty is already called back a touchdown, blocking in the back on the punt return, and now holding penalty as you're moving the ball.
So it makes it second down and 17. 6 on the clock to snap. Now to 3. 2 on 1. They get it off just in time. Moore's going to roll right. In trouble. Receiver comes back to make the catch. That's Pinckney. Is he in bounds? I don't think so. It'll be third down and 17. Derek Thomas in coverage that time on Pinckney.
Cincinnati coaches said they're not good in third down and long. Most people aren't. But they did not want to put Hayden Moore in those positions tonight, so he's got to be really smart with the ball on this third down and 17. They're locking up man again. Press man with 2 deep.
Rushing 3, and it's going to flush Moore out anyway. He's going to go ahead and take off, and he's going to also try to get out of bounds before he gets wiped out. So it'll be fourth down and long as Martin was in pursuit. And it was Roche, number 90, who came in and flushed Moore out of the pocket.
That's a smart play by Moore because we're in a field position game right now. So punt them down deep, try to keep them backed up, and make Temple make some first downs.
Number 37, James Smith, has taken the field in punt formation. Back to return for Temple, number 10.
So Mike Jones, who leads the conference in combined kick return yards. And you've got to be careful here with Temple because they are excellent at blocking kicks. They bring a little bit of pressure this time. A lot of spin on this kick. High. And fair caught at the 11. So 2 times Smith has tucked that. 1 at the 10 and now 1 at the 11. Not giving Temple any good field position. Well, let's get a little lesson in football from Mac Brown here to tell us what Temple is doing on third down defensively.
Well, they were going to play press man, so you see they locked up with these 3 guys underneath. They've got 1 deep or 2 deep safeties, and they're going to say, you can't separate enough to beat us. We're going to force the quarterback to run and knock him out of bounds before he gets the first down. Got a 3-man rush, man all over the field. Nobody's open, no separation. Good play by the defense.
And Cincinnati hanging on. As you see, Armstead was fighting with Perry Young, and Young was waiting for help. Excuse me, that was number 8, Jarrell White, not number 6. And White got plenty of help. And by the way, White getting the start tonight, a freshman from Cincinnati, has really come on for the Bearcats and is rewarded with a start. Newtile rolling out, makes that long throw, catch made, but covered immediately at the 19-yard line. Grab is made by Ventrell Bryant, and Marquise Taylor, who has the interception tonight for UC, with the tackle, and he wasn't fooled at all by that play.
But offensively, you're exactly where you want to be now. You're in that 3rd down and 3 or 4, so you've got your entire playbook. You can run it, you can throw it, you can get your quarterback on the move. You can do about anything you want here.
It's got Armstead, who's a decent receiver out of the backfield also. He's got 8 catches. Make it 9 catches. And Armstead stutter steps. He will run into number 33 at the 30-yard line. That's Jalen Miner, who's all over the field. But it's a first down for the Owls.
Really good pass by Frankie Juice, the quarterback. He sat back. It was man coverage down the field. He's got his back in the flat. He knows what he has to have for the first down. He gets the 3 yards very easily with the flare.
Now Nutile, they tunnel screen this, caught right in the 30-yard line, and it's going to get about 2 yards. Adonis Jennings was brought down almost immediately. And White was there again.
Yeah, that play was set up perfectly. Left tackle James McHale just missed the block in space. Got to just run through him. He can't break down on those fast linebackers and defensive backs.
2nd and 8. Where Myrick, the tight end, is going. And Armstead, that's a well-blocked play. And Armstead, that's the definition of downhill running there. Gets outside the 40. That'll move the chains. Miner with another stop, and it's a first down for Temple.
Temple just got so much speed. That's the outside zone. It was blocked very well. Armstead's had a turf toe, but he's coming back, and he is not a good back. He's a great back with his power and speed.
Quick drop, quick throw, caught, first down and more. Oh, sweet little move that time by Isaiah Wright. And Wright will get into Bearcat territory. They're going to say around the 48, maybe the 47-yard line. Another Jalen Miner tackle.
They like Frank Nutile because he's so accurate. So they've got Wright in the flat. He's matched up on a safety. They're going to try to work him on linebackers and safety. The only thing, Isaiah, plant that foot, get north and south as soon as you can. Don't run across the field backwards.
Armstead goes up the gut. And Carter Jacobs may have saved a touchdown with that ankle tackle at the 35-yard line. And now, after the play, flags fly everywhere as there was a confrontation between an Owl and a Bearcat. Let's see who this is on. And they're going to rule it against Cincinnati again. We apologize for the referee's microphone not working. So we do not know the number of the guilty party, but that's going to be the personal fouls. And that's another penalty against UC. And you're right. And one of the penalties last week was on Luke Fickle. He's still salty about that. But this one's going to really, really hurt. We're told now that number 56 was guilty.
Coach Fickle last week got the penalty for throwing his headset. If that had been a penalty when I was coaching, I would have had a bunch of penalties.
It's Mark Wilson. Guilty there.
But they're really hurting themselves again with penalties, the same theme they had last week.
But he maintains he didn't throw the headset. So
yeah, I didn't either.
Just don't throw the one you're wearing tonight, please.
I won't. I'm in a better place.
Nutile on the run. Hit as he throws. He gets it off. Caught at the 15-yard line. And another minor tackle as Randall Jones made the catch. Nutile really hung in there that time.
In meeting with Frank Nutile yesterday, he was so confident. And he's a guy that all the kids like, and they've rallied around him like there. He buys time. He keeps his eyes downfield. He doesn't panic. And he throws a perfect pass underneath.
He's got Armstead behind him in formation. Watch for Myrick goes to tight end. That's tending to be where they run, and they do it again, playing off Myrick's block. And it's right at the marker at the 10-yard line. White with another stop. Seems like between Miner and White, you're making almost all the tackles for the Bearcats. You see Temple in the red zone, 102 tied for in FBS for scoring. And it is the first and goal. Miner has 7 tackles already. That puts him easily over 90, 94 for the season. Play action fake. I think he wanted to throw to Myrick. He slanted instead, and it's broken up. Kirkwood was the intended receiver, and David Pierce stopped that from being 6.
They're pounding the ball off tackle. On a second down, they fake the off tackle play. They throw the slant to Kirkwood, but it's knocked down by Pierce. That's an excellent play by Pierce because it looked like he had the touchdown. He had leverage inside. It was an excellent throw. Pierce just reaches in with the left hand, knocks it down.
Now they try a little end around, and that is not going to work, as Adonis Jennings did not fool the UC defense, and you saw again 33 Jalen Miner involved along with Lyndon Stevens, the defensive back. No gain on the play. 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line.
I think we'll probably see Temple go up to Kirkwood or Bryant, 19 and 5, because they like their height in the red zone. But you've got to keep the right to kick if you're in Utah. Don't want to turn the ball over. You need points after this long drive.
They also bring in 81 Randall Jones to the near side. They better hurry because it's down to 3 to 2 to 1. Jeff Collins was going to call a timeout. Newtile throws in face of pressure, and it's overthrown for Kirkwood. Incomplete. Pressure from Tyrell Gilbert that time. The safety Carter Jacobs was in coverage, and Temple will have to bring out the field goal team and Aaron Boumeri.
Looked like they had a bust up front with their offensive lineman at the left side because they had a guy free, or they had the play open for the touchdown.
Well, Jeff Collins worked his way down to the official on the far sideline. It looked like he was going to call timeout. Then the ball was snapped. 38 seconds left in this quarter, looking for the first points. And that has been a problem for Temple this season, scoring in the first quarter. Oh, he doinked it, and it went in. Got a very favorable deflection off of the right upright, and the Owls go a long way, get stopped short of the 10-yard line to take a 3-0 lead. Only 33 seconds left. Watch the doink. Quarter, Temple takes a 3-0 lead on the field goal from 27 yards out on a chilly evening in the Queen City of Cincinnati. So we'll see if Cincinnati can get going. Michael Warren II is in single safety right at the goal line. Ryan Jones. Aaron Boumeri, I should say, that 97 handling kickoffs. This is a line drive. Warren, tough catch at the 3-yard line. Picking his way through, and another flag comes in on special teams. And if this is on Cincinnati, it'll be their 5th penalty of the quarter.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 25, 10-yard penalty, first down.
The crowd's not booing. They're yelling, Alex, Alex. Here's Alex Cordray.
Thank you, Dave. Not quite, though. Well, talking to head coach Jeff Collins, and he describes his safety, Sean Chandler, as an amazing kid. He says that Chandler's journey is what continues to drive him. Growing up, he lived in an estimated 6 different homeless shelters in Camden, New Jersey, with his mom, 3 sisters, and older brother. Chandler overcame unbelievable obstacles, but his past will forever be the motivation behind his success. Mac, Dave?
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, it's an unbelievable story, the adversity that some of these young men have to overcome to get to where they want to go.
Cincinnati, they're first, 30 seconds.
And I think if you go over to speak with Coach Fickle right now, you're going to have a little adversity also, as he is not very happy he had to burn a timeout. Tomorrow night on ABC, number 3 Notre Dame, number 7 undefeated Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. That's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, streaming live on the ESPN app. These teams played a great game last year in South Bend. The Irish have won all 3 since the teams ended the rivalry, for better or worse. Back in 1990, they've only played 3 times since then, and ND has won them. They've won the last 4 overall. And you got to go back to 1990 for the first time since these teams were playing each other when they were ranked. Game day will be on the UM campus in Coral Gables on Saturday morning. Moore, pocket collapsing a little bit. He's going to take off and pick. He loses the ball. Scooped up by Temple's Chandler. And Chandler trying to get a couple of extra yards. He'll have it at the 25-yard line. The fumble forced by Roche. Now, I wonder if he was down when he lost the football, and that'll be up to the replay booth to figure that one out. But the ruling on the field is a fumble, and then Owl's recovery.
Well, he's got really bad body language coming off the field, which usually means he was not down. Let's see if his knee is down here. Looks like he was laying on the player when the ball came loose.
The field is a fumble recovered by the defense. The previous play is under further review.
And that's understandable why the booth and the replay official, Buddy Ward, is a good one, by the way, is going to take an extra long look at this. The ruling on the field again is a fumble, and we're always looking for the indisputable video evidence to say it wasn't.
Well, the coaches told us Hayden Moore had to make good decisions tonight. He had to be willing to run, and he had to take care of the football. So he made a good decision. He had pressure. He turns the field up, but you have got to put both arms on that ball and tuck it away.
Now, his hand made contact with the ground before he lost the football. So that'll be up to Buddy to decide if that's going to be enough and where the ball would be if this call is overturned.
I stood on that sideline many times and said, please, Lord. Please, Lord.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Temple.
So they could not find enough evidence to change the call. That's what stands always means. Confirmed, obvious what it is. Reversed is obvious too. And you get to talk about it a little bit or write about it when you're Temple. Get the ball. Hashtag get the ball. As teams now around the country are celebrating turnovers like never before.
The Chandler gets to give it to one of the staff members now, and they have to do 10 push-ups on the sideline.
So now Hood straight ahead. Pressure on Hood with a terrific run there. Breaking a couple of tackles. Nice spin move in space. He gains 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. And that will be the end of the first quarter.
You've got a long drive by Temple. And then you come right back and fumble the ball on the first play of the next series. Cincinnati's defense out there a long time early in this game, Dave.
About to begin here at Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, where Temple is leading UC 3-0 and looking at 2nd down and 3 from the Cincinnati 18-yard line, and they pretty much had the run of that first quarter, Mac.
Yeah, this is not a good trend if you're Cincinnati. 21 plays to 12, and this is going to mount up in the fourth quarter if they continue to be physical and beat them down.
New tile, little high, and that was dangerous. So they went to Ventrell Bryant, not a particularly great throw, and in coverage that time was David Pierce. 3rd down and 3.
Again, in the red zone, they're going to throw it to the tall guys. They're going to throw it to Bryant. They're going to throw it to Kirkwood. They're going to try to get it up high. That was not a very good throw by Frank. He didn't follow through. He let it go high and could have been an interception easily.
There is some beef in that offense now for Temple. 2 tight ends and the fullback Sharga, number 4. And an unbalanced look, and they run right.
Easy
and it's
first
Hood.
down.
It could be an easy touchdown. It played off the block of Sharga. Did Stevens, the cornerback, but yeah, you're right. That was an easy first down. That was obvious, but you couldn't stop it.
No, and they had leverage. You've got to create an edge if you're the defense at Cincinnati, and you let Temple get outside. You can't do that, especially on the 3rd down and short. You got to turn everything up inside.
And boy, Luke Fickle could still run. You know, he was a nose tackle. Didn't look like one. Now,
Cincinnati.
He also saw that unbalanced line
30
again
seconds.
that had leverage. So he wanted to get down there and do it. Coach Fickle's big, strong guy. He's never left the state of Ohio, I don't think. He was 138-1 as a wrestler in high school. He's tough. He's smart. In fact, they said he tried to get the high school basketball coach to cut his son so he'd have to wrestle because he'd be tougher. But this guy's tough. He's smart. He's really doing a good job getting this thing back on track. He's not used to losing. It's really frustrating for him right now.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, coming from Ohio State for sure. Well, tomorrow on ESPN, two big ones with college football playoff implications. FSU and number 4 Clemson at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Then number 2 Alabama takes on number 16 Mississippi State in the land of the Cowbells at 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. You'll stream it live, of course, if you'd like, on the ESPN app. So still first down and 10. Now the Bearcats have 1 timeout remaining in the half. Hood is the tailback, and no unbalanced line here. Delay to Hood, and he'll get to about the 7-yard line before Cortez Broughton brought him down. Broughton, a junior from Warner Robins, Georgia, number 96.
We're seeing the change in identity here that Coach Collins wanted. He wants a physical, downhill, offensive football team. That's not what they had at the first of the year. They were more all over the place with spread, throwing the ball a lot more. Right now, their identity is hand it off and go north and south.
And they bring in another 2 tight end set here. Robinson goes in motion, and they'll follow him with Hood. Cincinnati read the play, though, and the leading tackler there was Marquise Copeland, number 44, and he had help. But a gain to the 5. Now, here's an interesting one, Mac. It's 3rd down and 5 from the 5.
Well, and if it's me, you're not going to kick field goals now. You're going to try to get to the 4 downs. You're going to need 7 points. You're out there. You're dominating the football game. I would do something, probably taking the quarterback to the corner, have some movement where he's got a run-pass option. I think we'll probably see it. Trips to the field here. See him do something out here to the left.
He's looking left all the way. Fade pattern to the end zone. It's incomplete. Carter Jacobs in coverage that time on Isaiah Wright. Wright had his hands on it, had a half a step, but could not hang on.
They really like Isaiah Wright against the safeties. They had it perfectly to the corner this time, and that's a ball that Isaiah's got to catch. Throws it to the outside, throws it away from Carter Jacobs. He's got to make that play. Good play call by Temple.
They are going to have to settle for that field goal.
Yeah, unless you get half of it and you're a 4th and 2, you're going to kick the field goal.
This will be for 22 yards out. First one good from 27 tonight. And that one is good. Wasn't pretty, but it was good.
We bounced one off of a goalpost and we've shoved one through. Their kicking game is exciting.
Fridays are fun, remember?
Fridays are fun.
7 plays, 20 yards in 2 minutes, and they now lead 6-0. Of course, today being Veterans Day, we're honoring the men and women who are serving and have served for the United States. Some Air Force members here tonight on a chilly evening in Cincinnati. Army also well represented here, and so is Bearcat.
I took a trip to Iraq in 08 in the summer. It's amazing how many of our service people watch games over there. They'll stay up all night. They love college football.
This will be Warren about 2-3 yards deep. He'll take a knee and we'll take it out to the 25-yard line. We'd like to say we firmly believe that Fridays are fun here on ESPN or ESPN2, and we've had a blast with our group so far this season. We've had some memorable evenings, including the turnover chain versus Duke, kind of the national debut of that, what has now become a national sensation, or for some people, not so fond of it. And, of course, Riley Ferguson, 7 touchdown passes that night in Connecticut. And who could forget the upset Syracuse, nearly a 24-point underdog, and defeating Clemson in the Dome that night, the Loud House, as Dino Babers called it. Unfortunately, Syracuse really hasn't built up much momentum from that. They had a tough loss the following week at Miami, losing late. And they got a tough road through the ACC. We have an injured player there. That's Isaiah Graham Mobley, and he's a starting linebacker tonight for Temple with Chappelle Russell already out. Graham Mobley took his place, so this is a great concern for Jeff Collins, who has joined them out there, along with the training staff. And in fact, I think that is Russell there, number 23 in the hoodie, talking to him as well. Yep, it is. So let's hope that Isaiah will get back into this game. We'll see now about this Cincinnati offense, Mac. You have any recommendations for this group right now?
Yeah, you got to go back and establish a run. That's what they said. That's who they are. So you can't just throw the ball on first down because you can't protect well enough against the quicker, faster guys up front. And they've got to stay on the field some.
Yeah, Moore is 2 of 5 for 6 yards. And now we have another whistle here. I think this is just a timing. Oh, we have a flag. I think we're going to get too many men on the field, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Legal substitution, 12-minute formation, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
You know, that's 2 times in a row now. They had to call a timeout coming off the boundary to start a series, and then this one with too many men on the field. They've got to do a better job of being organized in the huddle before they get those guys to come out to start a series.
So, first down, 15. They go to Dokes, who runs up the middle, and he'll get a short one there for just a couple of yards. So it'll be second down and long. Center of that Temple defense. That front group played so well last week for the Owls against the Naval Academy. They're so hard to play against because they're so precise. In fact, Temple had an unusual bit of scheduling. They played 2 service academies consecutively, Army and Navy. Pressure here. They flip it out to Dokes in the flat. Dokes has a blocker, and he'll get knocked out of bounds around the 29-yard line.
That's got them back to 3rd and 6, so that's a good play call. It's just like a sweep, but this bunch helped Navy to 136 yards rushing last week, 250 below their average, and no rushing touchdowns for the first time in forever.
Dokes will check out. Boone comes in, an empty backfield set. He goes into the slot to the right of the quarterback.
Man up. Press man outside.
Well, now they change the formation here, as Hayden Moore may have seen something he wants to switch to. Now he puts Boone next to him. Pocket collapses. Moore's going to take off. Can he get there? He tried. He knew where that marker was, but he spun into 2 defenders. Todd Jones, who's in for Graham Mobley, number 40, making the hit a yard shy of the first down.
And this was a very good job of Temple disguising because they looked like they were going to blitz. He brought Mike Boone back in for the extra protector. Then they backed out, had a 4-man rush, forced him to run up inside with good contain and tackle him short of the first down. Really good defensive play by Temple.
Well, the Bearcats now just 25% for the evening. 11:43 to go in the half. On 3rd downs, low snap, bobbled, quick kick, and he got it away. Nice job there by Smith. And again, inside the 20. Yep, tack it on to his total. 3 times now he has pinned them inside the 20.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Smith. He punts it across the field, pins them back. He hits the old backward kick. This time he scoops up the bad snap and kicks it away from the punt returner. So this young man's been the most valuable player so far for Cincinnati.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. And Infinity, empower the drive.
The definition of a Buckeye is Luke Fickell. He's worked his entire life in the state of Ohio, played at Ohio State, was the head coach for a year in 2011, was on the staff for 14 seasons, and here he is, hired December 10th of last year. Isaiah Graham Mobley, according to Alex Cordry, who's on the field, is in concussion protocol, so that's a big blow for Temple, already short in the linebacker position, as they'll start with a 3-yard pickup here, setting up 2nd down and 7.
It's very evident that Cincinnati is going to have to stop the downhill power run and the outside zone to make Temple throw the ball.
Now Armstead joins Hood in this is Williams, I should say, number 26. And he'll get a couple, so this sets up now 3rd down and about 5. Fits in there on the stop. Getting our first look at Trayvon Williams in there with David Hood. 50% on 3rd downs tonight for Temple. Their average distance has been 2.5 yards. Here they're facing 5. Newtile guns it, caught, and they'll get another 1st down at the 28-yard line. A catch made by Wright.
One thing they told us that they felt like a big part of the game plan would be is get the ball to Wright and match him up against linebackers. On 3rd down, They bring Tyrell Gilbert into the game as a pass rusher, but with them spread out, they put him on right. Easy play right for the first down.
Here's Hood. You can see number 8, White, just hanging on to that jersey of Hood's and waited for help to come, and they showed up. But it's still going to be a 4-yard pickup.
It's a good job. He looked inside. He's got patience. He's a power runner. It wasn't there. He bounced outside, but now he plants the outside foot and goes north and south, ends up getting 4 yards, which is an outstanding play for first down. Temple is staying ahead of the chains. Cincinnati is not.
Other than the fact that they have had trouble in the red zone, this first half has been dominated primarily by the Owls. Here's Hood popping up the middle here. He'll get to the 50. Makes the one-man miss. Jacobs slowed him down, and that allowed Perry Young, number 6, to come in with a stop at the 40-yard line. A solid gain there on a first down.
Temple is just lining up and being physical, going north and south, straight up the gut. Nobody there. Nobody touches him.
Now Rob Rich Ravado comes in, number 45. He is behind the quarterback. And Rich Ravado will get the carry. He gets cut down after a 2-yard pickup there.
College football is like a heavyweight fight. And right now, Temple is hitting Cincinnati's defense with a lot of body blows. And those body blows make a difference in the fourth quarter.
Well, they're going to go. Rich Ravado's out there still, number 45. Redshirt junior from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Splits the fullback duties with Nick Sharga. Fake to him, Nutile. His pass rejected. Batted back. Kevin Muhan. Muhan almost had a chance to take that the other way.
Yeah, Kevin Muhan's a guy that stands at the line of scrimmage, so he can drop or he can rush. He does a good job of reading the bootleg that time. Jumps up, bats the ball very easily. Puts him in a 3rd down and 7 situation. Temple hadn't been in many 3rd and long situations. Good play by Muhan.
And some late substitutions by both sides. Now Hood is back in, number 24. Temple already crossed 100 yards rushing so far, but this is a passing down, and we're going to get a timeout called by the Owls.
Timeout. Temple, they're first. 30 seconds.
Play clock was down to the nub, and they were going to be hit with a 5-yard penalty here, so Jeff Collins wisely called the timeout with Temple looking at 3rd and long. 6-0 in front of the Bearcats. 8.5 remaining in this quarter, and you have a chance to look at the ESPN app, do you? Maybe you're watching us right now. Maybe you want to watch, say, A&M versus West Virginia. I understand that. Maybe you want to watch a little Kentucky basketball. College basketball is underway as of tonight. We have it on the ESPN app, a sports fan's best friend. Naturally, we prefer you stay with us, but, you know, we understand. 3rd down 7, David Hood in the backfield. Temple, 4 of 7 on 3rd downs tonight. Nutile back to pass, under pressure, hit as he throws, wide open, the catch made by Randall Jones. Jones to the 15, and he's going to be dragged down there. And Nutile hung in that time.
Here's the biggest difference right now in this football game. Cincinnati doesn't feel like they can bump. They can't play man, so they backed off. They played zone and left the zones open easily underneath for the first down.
Carter Jacobs with the stop. Great block there by David Hood to help out his quarterback. He'll stay in the game, number 24. Nutile out in the flat. Broken up with a big hit by Chris Murphy, and a flag has come in. Wright was the intended receiver, and is the flag on the hit is the question. And if they're going to consider a targeting call here, then it'll go up to the booth.
Once again in the game plan, put Isaiah Wright, a receiver, on the safeties. Big part of the Temple game plan for tonight.
At first blush, I thought the hit was clean, but it did draw a flag. We'll have some more looks at it.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 30. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 30, taunting. That penalty will also be enforced, half the distance to the goal, first down. The targeting is under further review.
Well, Mac, we've had a chance to look while that penalty was being explained for the unsportsmanlike conduct, whether this was targeting. What do you think?
I don't think it is at all. He doesn't lead with the point of the helmet. He doesn't hit in the neck or head area. I've been wrong on this throughout the year some, but it looks like to me that Chris Murphy has a good hit here.
Well, but it's still going to be some sort of penalty because they're going to mark off the unsportsmanlike conduct. And on that look, that appeared to be more in the rib cage.
I think it's a tackle.
Yeah, I do too. And right, certainly, and I don't know, there was a tiny bit of contact there around the helmet, but.
Well, we're trying to protect the players. That's the most important thing. But we have, this is a tough game. We have to allow people to tackle. And I thought that was a good tackle.
This one's taken a while, too. This is a difficult one to make the firm call from Buddy Ward, whether to overturn this. And the replay officials, when they are really in doubt, they will tend to stick with the call. Here's the response coming here in a moment. Well, now actually the referee had to back up because Cincinnati began to huddle near him. And this looks like an elongated basketball timeout where everybody just goes running to the bench.
And transitions are tough. Coach Fickle wants his guys to be disciplined. He wants them to show class. So Chris Murphy cannot have the 15-yard penalty for taunting after he has the hit. That's one thing that Luke's trying to work his team through.
Well, crowd here is seeing the one angle that did not show any contact toward the helmet. Now we have the answer from the replay booth via the referee's microphone.
After review, there was no forcible contact to the receiver's head or neck area. Therefore, there is no foul for targeting. However, the unsportsmanlike conduct foul will still be enforced half the distance to the goal, and that is number 30's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
So we now will wipe out the one penalty, but let's take a look at what got Murphy in trouble here with taunting. Set a few things to right, and in this day and age in college football, an emotional game.
Let them play.
You know how to show emotion in an emotional game.
Let them play.
No, I'm with you.
Officials do a great job. Sometimes they're too sensitive. Keep the flag in your pocket, let them play.
So it's first and goal at the 7-yard line. Hood, that's 7 penalties, by the way, on UC. And Hood is close but did not get in. He's a yard short. 7 penalties on UC, Mac. And nearly 8. The targeting was properly erased.
Well, and this game's being won on first down by Temple. They're lining up and getting more than 4 yards on first down, which means they're having third down and short. So they're winning the line of scrimmage. And the strength of the Cincinnati defense is the defensive line, and right now the offensive line at Temple is whipping it.
They give to Hood, trying to back into the end zone, and neither official is going to give it to him. It's going to be third down. And about a yard.
No field goals here, Dave. 4 downs. If you're Cincinnati and you're going to have a chance to win this game, you got to hold them out. But if you're Temple, you've got to go score at this point.
Well, they took the power package out, Mac, and they brought in some more receivers now. They brought in Jennings and Kirkwood. They took out Sharga and a tight end.
And they could be spreading them out to run the ball more easily inside, but it looks like trips to the field. He's going to go to the field. Cincinnati felt like they were outflanked again, so they call a quick timeout.
They're out of them.
Timeout. Cincinnati. Their third and final.
That was definitely your pick or rub to the field. Coach Fickle knows this is a critical situation. He has got to try to force a field goal, a fumble. You've got to do something here to keep them from getting 7 points.
Well, we have our next top-ranked boxing event coming to you tomorrow from Fresno with co-main events. Artur Beterbiev battles Enrico Colling for Andre Ward's vacated IBF light heavyweight belt. Then Jose Carlos Ramirez is in line for a WBO and WBC junior welterweight title bout with Amir Ayman. But first, he's going to get by Mike Reed. That's 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on ESPN and on the ESPN app. Now let's see the personnel here for Temple. They actually brought out defensive tackle Dan Archibong, number 95, to join the tight end. Now Sharga is back out, and they bring in the jumbo tight end package. They go wide to Hood, follow Sharga, and he got cut. And he's still in for the touchdown as Jalen Miner did everything he could, and he is still not up. A valiant effort by Miner, but Hood gets in the end zone.
Yeah, this is unbalanced line. They actually flipped the big guy over, and this is a sweep that has hurt Cincinnati so much. They outflanked him to the field again. Really good block by Sharga. Nice job by Hood turning up and getting in the end zone.
And Miner now being tended to. You see, he just sacrificed himself to try to prevent that touchdown. And he is a critical player for the Cincinnati defense. Their leading tackler, the best in the conference this year. And it's gotten very quiet here at Nippert, understandably, as Miner, well, it's the maximum effort he gave that time. Took the brunt of this collision with Hood.
Two tough football players. They know there's going to be a collision right there, and Hood just leaps over the top for the touchdown.
We have Miner already back. We are at 6:39 in the second quarter, has 9 tackles.
He usually gets that per week. He's already got it in the first half, but they've been out there a long time, and I think we're going to see Cincinnati's defense get more tired as this trend continues.
Really happy to see him jog off the turf. Hopefully he's going to be all right. Meantime, David Hood, the redshirt junior from Galloway, New Jersey, 3 touchdown rushes on the year. And Bumeri has made 2 field goals tonight and made them look interesting. He's very smooth there. So Temple doing it with a combination of Temple tough defense and Cincinnati unable to get anything done. David Hood runs in for the 3rd time this season in a big collision with Jalen Miner. 84-yard drive in 12 plays in 4:47. So Temple tonight with 20 of their 38 plays in UC territory. They have held the ball 9 minutes and 9 seconds longer than their American Conference foes. Along with Alex Cordry and Mac Brown, Dave Lamont. American Conference on ESPN on a chilly Friday evening in the Queen City at Nippert Stadium in the heart of this beautiful University of Cincinnati campus and a beautifully upgraded stadium. They have done some yeoman's work on this charming place. Warren back deep in the end zone for the Bearcats. Also had 23 fewer plays on offense than Temple. It's kicked short. Take it at the 10. 25, 30, flag down, big hit out of bounds. Taylor Boose was driven away by Sam Franklin. Let's see about the penalty flag. And by the way, if this is another Cincinnati penalty, Mac, hang on, let's see if it is. It would be their 8th.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 2, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Tyrell Gilbert. Before we give you the penalty totals, we must check in with Adnan Burke. Adnan, what's up, man?
Doing great, Dave Lamont. Good to check in with you. Utah Valley, Kentucky. That's right, college basketball is back. Opening night, it's on the SEC Network. That's Brandon Randolph with the hoop and horn, backdoor cut. However, the Wildcats would respond. This is Hamidou Diallo. Part of a 14-0 run for the Wildcats. By the way, Kentucky, Vermont on Sunday, so make sure to check it out. Dave, back to you.
I'll do that. Thank you, Adnan. Good talking to you. That's a 9-yard pickup there for Tyler Cogswell, the veteran tight end out of Coral Springs, Florida, near Fort Lauderdale. Sean Bradley brought him down.
And they've got to stay with their game plan. Just down 13, but they've got to stay on the field offensively to help their defense get some rest.
Penalty's been a problem all year for the Bearcats. Straight ahead, Warren. Looks like he has a first down to the 28-yard line. So desperately important, even on a cold night, to give your defense a chance to rest a little bit.
Cincinnati's had 8 penalties. Temple's had none. It's really interesting that Temple had fewer penalties the last 2 weeks, Dave, than the 2 academies who normally have fewer penalties than anybody in the country.
Yeah, Kennedy Matalolo just threw his headset on the TV. He said that.
No, he threw it at his kids that were having penalties.
That's a short gain there, right up the gut for Warren. And here come more flags, and the referee threw his well after the play was over.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 23, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A sarcastic cheer goes up from the Bearcat fans here at Nippert Stadium, and that's the first penalty on Jeff Collins' team, and now he is conducting an officiating clinic across the way.
Well, Coach Fickle just ripped them at the 30 during that break, and I know when we'd have so many penalties the other team wouldn't have one, I used to go to the officials and say, come on, man, we're the only one having penalties? Does the other team not hold? Does the other team not get offsides?
Is there ever going to be satisfaction out of that?
Yeah, no, they just kept throwing them.
Temple brings some pressure here. Moore's got some room to run. He's going to run where the pressure came from, and look at him go to the 40. Moore 30. And he is finally tripped up and down at the 27-yard line by Sean Chandler. A big play from the quarterback, Hayden Moore, with his legs.
That's what they needed. They said he was a willing runner. He wasn't a great runner, but he's willing. He's got a good feel here of the blitz. He turns up inside. Got to protect the ball, Hayden. Don't leave that ball hanging out. But this could get him going. A couple of first downs. Defense getting some rest. Some positive things happening for Cincinnati for the first time tonight offensively.
Hand off here to Boone, and Boone will go nowhere. No gain on the play. Second down and 10. Julian Taylor, number 94, redshirt senior, in there on the stop. 4.5 minutes left in this one. And don't forget, the Bearcats are out of timeouts. Cogswell goes to the slot here with Boone in the backfield. Now Cogswell goes out wide and exchanges places with his receiver. And Moore scrambling again. This time they're waiting for him. And he is run down to the 25-yard line. Sharif Finch and Linwood Crump, number 11. Finch, number 6, had that brilliant game versus Navy last week. He had 2 sacks.
And that pressure was because of coverage. One of the problems Cincinnati's offense is having, they can't separate with their speed from the cornerbacks and safeties at Temple.
Quick drop, quick throw, into traffic, flag down in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Jaquay Savage was the intended receiver. Crump and Todd Jones in coverage that time. This was the umpire who tossed this flag. It's usually on the offense, unless we get a hands in the face. So we get a chop block. Now, I'll be honest, Mac, I don't want to criticize the officials too much, but I've seen this one miscalled a few times where they interpret something that really isn't a chop block. Let's see about this one.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 71 and 72. 15-yard penalty, third down.
Well, 71 is in the center of your picture. So that was on Campbell and Cunningham, left side of the UC line.
Yeah, it's very hard to call sometimes because you can see the high-low, one of them cuts and the other one's up high and he touches him. I don't think that was the intent of the rule, but if 2 touch him, one high and one low, they're going to call the chop.
So another penalty on Cincinnati. They had 12 last week, and they're getting close to that now. Out to Boone. Very short gain, and Boone just leveled Crump. A little of the frustration that Cincinnati might be feeling went into the Boone, who hit the tackler harder than the tackler hit him.
Yes, now you're going to have to punch. You've got the flare. It's third down and forever. runs over the defensive back front, but job done. Still 3rd down and 20. Or 4th down and 20, excuse me.
Been very impressed with this Australian punter, James Smith, freshman. Now 17 kicks this season inside the 20-yard line. See if Temple brings pressure. They really don't. A lot of wacky spin on this kick. It goes sideways, and that wasn't his best effort. It was scooped up. And they're going to mark it down.
Don't even jinx it.
Well, I know. It's like the free throw thing. I'm getting ready for basketball season back. He's a 90% free throw shooter. Clank. Let's check in with Alex Corddry for more on Jalen Minor. Thankfully, he's back out there.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, we saw that trainers were working on Jalen Minor's right shoulder. He seemed to be doing okay. Like you said, he's back out there. We'll know more to start the second half.
You take a look around the elbow, the right elbow there. He's got a patch of blood. But this guy, you know, when you say this guy's a tough cowboy, we really mean it with Jalen Minor. Play action fake to Hood. Newtile comes out firing. It's going to be caught around the 33 by Bryant. And he is dragged down straight away by Taylor. But that will move the chains. First down for the Owls at the 34-yard line. Yeah, Jalen Minor is a rodeo cowboy. The real deal.
Navasota, Texas.
Newtown, middle of the field. Catch by Kirkwood. He was hit immediately as Minor and Murphy came in there. Murphy was called for targeting, and it was erased by the replay booth earlier. 2nd down and 4 here. And a little bit of pace now for the Owls. As we start to run out of time here in the 2nd quarter. Wide open at the 50 and down to the 49 in Cincinnati territory is Adonis Jennings, the senior receiver, number 17. Stevens on the stop. And that stops the clock. Now it starts again, and we're at 2:06.
And they still have two timeouts left, so Temple has forever. They can take their time.
They can even run the ball if they like. They don't. Newtile, short pass, catch, and tackle himself. Gain of 3 for Jennings. 2nd and 7.
This is critical for Cincinnati's defense to get a stop.
Gain of 3. 2nd down.
Newtile. Now the boat batted away by Minor. He read the quarterback's eyes that time. And it's Minor batting it down.
This guy's a fun kid. He's from Navasota, Texas. He's dropping back in his area. He reads the quarterback's eyes. He reaches out and knocks that ball loose. He don't remember getting hurt a few plays before. You got to love this guy's attitude. Actually played for Lee Fedora at Navasota, Texas. And Lee is Larry Fedora, North Carolina's brother. Loves to play football, loves the game, leader on this team.
On 3rd and 7. Pressure on Newtile. One-on-one down the field, and it's incomplete around the 12-yard line, trying to get it to Randall Jones, who was covered by the senior Lyndon Stevens. It's 4th and 7.
And you punt here simply because Cincinnati's not moving the ball consistently. But this was a great stop by the Cincinnati defense. They played man coverage. Lyndon Stevens is their best defensive back, and he locked up and turned his head. He covered him perfectly. What a stop for Cincinnati.
Number 21, Devin Gray.
Devin Gray at the 10-yard line awaits the punt from Alex Starzyk. He's had 2 blocked this season. Cincinnati doesn't put much pressure on him. He's going to try to spin one. And spun it a little too much. There's a guy down there, Randall Jones, as a matter of fact. Let's check in with Adnan Burke. Adnan, what you got?
Well, Dave, coming up at the halftime, we'll have Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, and me talking about that huge game between Notre Dame and Miami. Has the perception around the Hurricanes changed, and will it change even further after this game on Saturday night? Plus, some SEC showdowns to look forward to: Alabama, Mississippi State, also Auburn taking on Georgia, and what to look forward to when it comes to the Big 12, TCU and Oklahoma, a huge game there. Cincinnati's got to get some points on the board. Tell Mac Brown to go down there and give them a pep talk, Dave.
He'd be the guy to do it.
I'd be screaming at the officials. I've done that before.
Hayden Moore does not have any timeouts. 1:13 to go, and he'll start with an empty set. And he'll run it, play off the block beautifully. And Moore will get a first down before he got hit hard around the 34-yard line by Finch.
Yeah, Temple went to a 3-man line. You had an easy quarterback counter. And what you do now is you try to get the ball out around the 50, and then you go play. 40 or 50, so now they can probably open it up with 59 seconds left.
Warren is now in the tailback spot.
See, press man.
Well, Warren gets the carry. So after the first down success, a conservative call. Archibald in there on the stop along with Quinku. And here comes a very late flag all of a sudden.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, defense, number 35, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That's number 35's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
So, another taunting penalty tonight. We've had one against Cincinnati defensively, now one against Temple defensively, and all of a sudden the Bearcats have it at the Temple 49-yard line. Quinku was in with that. He gets to spend some time on the bench for that.
Now you can turn it loose and play. So they'll be aggressive now to try to get points before the half.
Remember, Temple is down a linebacker, so Quinku's got to be careful. Second penalty like that, he's out. Moore is going to throw it away. Nothing developed down there. A lot of pressure from Freddie Booth-Lloyd, who's wearing the big number to wear for Temple football. We talk a lot about single digits with him. He's wearing the number 1. You get number 1 for the week. Yeah, you can get it twice, but it almost never happens. And he was awarded number 1 for his play against Navy, where coach has told us he just about single-handedly won that game for them on the defensive end. Problem is with his hair, you can't see the number 1. Tunnel screen here to Lewis. And Lewis will get to the 44-yard line. You're 5 yards short of the first down. Third down coming up.
Now you got to go. 26, 25 seconds. You've got to go.
16 seconds. Snap on 15. Receivers open. And getting out of bounds smartly is Devin Gray at the 29-yard line. Good throw from Moore to find Gray wide open.
This was a good throw from hash to out of bounds to the outside. Devin Gray had a good spin route where he stopped on the dime, turned to the outside. This gives them a chance for a field goal now. Got to be smart.
11 seconds remaining. Moore gonna go for it all right here. Got open! Broken up at the last second. Gray was the intended receiver, and saving the touchdown was Linwood Crump. We have 5 seconds remaining.
What a play by Crump. He's got the stop and go. It's a great call by Cincinnati. See him, he sets his feet, gets speed, turns on the dime, looks back for the ball, and it's a great job breaking it up. You also have Chandler back there with him.
So here is Ryan Jones, who won the place-kicking job after a few games this season. His longest of the season is 30, and this will be about 47 with Carter Jacobs, the holder.
You have to worry about it being blocked.
Got it up in the air. Will it have enough? No, it's going to be wide to the left. And that will end the first half. For the score, Temple leading Cincinnati 13-0. It is time for the halftime report. Joining Adnan Verker, Jesse Palmer, and Joey Galloway.
All right, Dave, thank you very much.
From the Queen City of Cincinnati, where the Bearcats are trailing at Temple's Owls 13-0 in this important battle for two teams that are fighting for bowl eligibility. Cincinnati has to run the table to get to 6. Temple has to win 2 out of 3 next week. They have a tough matchup against UCF. With Alex Cordry and Mac Brown, Dave Lamont, Cincinnati, nothing on the board. That does not happen very often in this Bearcat program. But they hurt themselves with 9 penalties in the first half. And they'll get the ball to start the second half. And a run up here for Warren at the 5-yard line. He'll get up the gut before he's finally hit around the 30 and driven down on a hard tackle there by Sean Bradley. So the starting middle linebacker, Mac, makes a hit on special teams.
always try to get your best players to play special teams. And with Temple, all the guys that have single digits, we said they're on the leadership council. They all have to be on at least 2 special teams. And it can be taken away from them, but Jeff Collins is the one that makes that decision. He gives it to him, and he can take it away.
Mike Boone at the tailback. He'll get the first carry. Pops it off to his left side of the line and still going. And starting to go sideways, and that cost him a yard or 2. He is finally brought down. They're going to mark him at the 36, reaching down at field level with Alex Cordry.
Dave, you bring up Cincinnati's 9 penalties. Talking with head coach Luke Fickell, he says the first half was defined by self-inflicted mistake and penalties. He addressed that with his team. He said, we got to play smarter. As for his offense, they haven't been able to get into a rhythm. He says we've got to find ways to generate some momentum. Mac, Dave.
All right, thank you, Alex. Mike Boone ends up picking up 4 yards. This will be out in the middle of the field. A catch made right at the marker by Khalil Lewis. He brought down by Todd Jones. Seeing a lot more of Todd Jones since Isaiah Graham Mobley was sent off to the dressing room in the first half as part of concussion protocol, and the chains are moving for the Bearcats.
Yeah, the Cincinnati guys thought they could get the ball to Lewis, number 1 in the slot, because he's not great against bump and pressure man outside, but when you're in the slot, you have a better chance to get off the line of scrimmage.
And now the quarterback was hit as he throws the ball. The ruling on the field is an interception. Sharif Finch came roaring in, and the referee says his arm was moving. The call is an incomplete pass.
Sharif Finch is one of the best football players on this defense. He can rush the passer. He can drop. This guy's so quick. He has good instincts. 9 tackles against Navy last week. 2 sacks. 3.5 tackles for loss.
2nd and 10. Carry to Boone. And Boone ran right into Jones after about 3 yards. So here comes 3rd down and 7. And now out come the money down signs. Every time it's 3rd down for Temple, they have these signs that say money down. And you've got, I don't know, maybe some GAs or equipment guys who have to jump up and down with that money down sign.
And here's where you see the press man outside by all the guys at Temple. They have 1 free safety, normally in the middle of the field. This time they have 2.
Now Moore, there's a flag down behind the play, so Moore, who got a first down, is likely going to come back. Jones and Bradley were in there on the spot, and we have a Cincinnati lineman slow to get up.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense.
Oh no!
Number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Freddie Booth
Injury
Lloyd
timeout.
hit with a penalty, and the Cincinnati player is still down as Kyle Trout, a former Ohio State Buckeye, who transferred to Cincinnati, and he was sitting up, and now he is on his back. So Cincinnati got a big break on the penalty call, getting that one in their favor. However, Trout being looked at very carefully here by the trainers and by head coach Luke Fickell, who joins the group at the 35-yard line. We'll step aside with Cincinnati in good field position. Bearcats on the run here, and they're going to get a little bit of a break here, Mac. Watch number 1 on the left side of our screen. Was this hands to the face?
Outstanding pass rusher. He gets him up high, and I guess they felt like right there maybe it was. It doesn't look like it from here.
And you saw Trout sort of collided with those 2 guys and is having his neck examined. Now they're going to run a trick play. This is Boone, and it's going to work. They're going to get some yards as the quarterback makes the grab at the 29-yard line. Hayden Moore. They talked about him being a runner. Mac didn't say anything about him catching passes.
Well, and Boone's your receiver because he's the guy with 22 touchdowns. It's a slot type guy, and now he becomes a passer. Cincinnati goes down and scores. We've got us a ball game, as dominant as Temple has been.
Now Boone on the handoff, and he will get to the line of scrimmage, and that's really basically it. Sam Franklin, number 36 out of Crystal River, Florida, a sophomore, led the tacklers that time for his tough owl defense.
This will be an interesting 3rd down and 6 call because you don't need to be kicking field goals from this distance if you can. So you need to try to get 3 to 4 yards and come up with 4th and short at least. Say he's probably going to throw it into the boundary.
Nine to get the snap off.
Again, press man.
Looking toward that boundary, low and incomplete. Tried to get it to Bruno LaBelle, number 87. It's a low throw out of Moore's hand. Now 4th and 6. They tried the long field goal in the first half. It was not close, and they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, this is your rub route into the boundary to the top. You've got your man coverage. The outside receiver comes inside, and he basically blocks, and it's just a poor throw by Moore. Receiver has to get down and catch the ball as well.
Had he caught it, it would have been either a first down or very, very close to it. So on 4th and 6, Moore has time, goes for it all right here. A lot of contact. Oh, what a grab in the end zone. That's a touchdown by Thomas Geddes. What a catch. A 4th down conversion from 29 out.
Interesting with press man with one high in the middle, one free safety. He throws it up to the tall guy on the shorter corner, and he throws it over Mike Jones, who's just 5'11". Gaddis is 6'5". It's a little separation at the end. It's a perfect throw and catch for the score.
Gaddis out of Ely High and Pompano Beach comes up with a touchdown there. His 3rd reception of the season. The drive has put Cincinnati back in the game. So helped by a hands to the face penalty. The Bearcats take advantage and are on the board for the first time. Now trailing 13-7.
Football brought to you by Ally. Do it right. And Courtyard, official hotel of the NFL.
So 9-play, 68-yard drive at 3:18 as we celebrate the beautiful American Sign Museum home in Cincinnati, encompassing more than 100 years of American sign history. And there, Mac, is a look at the party of the 50.
You got parties on both sides. Only one of them are going to celebrate.
Wright walks into this at the 10-yard line. 25, spin move there. And to the 25-yard line, maybe the 26 he will go. So Temple has run the ball as we thought in the first half.
They make all these adjustments at halftime. They've said they've changed their identity. They were a spread team. Now they want to be a power team. Got the power sweep. You got the inside zone play. And they had taken it to the Cincinnati defense in the first half. Halftime adjustments. Cincinnati comes out and scores. Momentum is a real strange thing in football. Now Temple has to go answer.
They start with David Hood, who's had a big night tonight. Over the middle, catch made there by Isaiah Wright, and Wright's got room to run to the 40, to the 44, and he's run out of bounds along the Temple sideline at the 45-yard line.
We keep going back to the game plan that came from the Temple coaches yesterday. Isaiah Wright on linebackers. That time he was locked up on Minor on a crossing route underneath, and that's a mismatch.
So Wright gets it out to the 45. That's about a 19-yard pickup. Hood stays in the tailback spot. And they foul. He slipped. No gain. Turf Monster gets the tackle.
Yeah, you've got to plant on the outside foot and go north and south. When you try to turn off of your inside foot, you're going to slip. Especially as cold as it is tonight on that turf. Now I think, Dave, we're in the 20s. I know it's in the 20s in the press box, so it's got to be that with the breeze down on the field.
So you just saw a moment ago Jeff Collins jumping up and down a little bit and try to stay warm in place there. Fake to Hood, long throw, and that pass broken up by Chris Murphy. Tried to get it again to Wright. That pass took a long time to get there.
It really did, and it wasn't going to help him a lot anyway. I'm impressed with Chris Murphy. He had the big hit earlier. He breaks on the ball really well right here. He nearly picks that thing off and could take it to the other end. I can see why Chris Murphy has stepped in as a starter now on this football team.
3rd and 10.
Pressure.
Yeah, and Newtile's going to take off. He'll have a first down and so much more. Frankie Juice runs himself out of bounds at the 34. Broughton chased him out, and there was suddenly nobody there.
They brought them all up inside, and you get contained, but you've got to stay in your rush lanes. When someone gets out of the rush lanes, even though Frankie Juice is not a great runner, he's an adequate runner. Really smart football player, pulls it down and runs for the first down.
Newtile got the start last week against the Naval Academy and played extremely well. Play action fake here. One of his receivers fell down. Now makes the double move. Kirkwood is wide open. Double move by Kirkwood down the sideline despite the pressure from Copeland. And it's going to be Newtile with a touchdown, and Temple responds.
One of the concerns that Cincinnati's defensive coaches had when they played man-to-man, could they stay with the speed at Temple? Kirkwood has the double move. Outside guy falls down. Easy score.
So you see Newtile with 1 TD and 1 interception. That was first pass of the game.
That was an easy drive to answer.
And that time, Mac, instead of just grinding it as we thought they might with their run game, they went to the air that time and were very aggressive.
Yeah, they were very balanced. This has got a football team with some really good players. When they can stay balanced, Dave, I think they can move the ball against anybody.
South Florida, an old rivalry reawakens.
There's so much to play for. Feels like an elimination game.
Touchdown Jesus versus the turnover chain. Notre Dame and Miami at Hard Rock Stadium.
Sounded
Temple.
like a Miami guy to me.
What did I say?
You said there better be some turnovers is what I heard.
Yeah, no, I said the chain, you know. I think, let me tell you, I know a guy who runs a shop down there. I'll tell you the story here in a second. At the 12-yard line here, kick return for Taylor Boone at 25. And Boone will be brought down to the 28-yard line. First off, the guest picker is a Miami native, A-Rod, who was, Mac, about 1 shoe length away from playing baseball at Miami. There's A-Rod's tweet for the day. There's no place I'd rather be on Saturday morning than making picks on College game day in my hometown of Miami.
Well, he'll probably knock it out of the park, but will he bring J-Lo? That's
we can only hope.
That's the question.
He was going to sign. He was going to play baseball at UM. And all he had to do was put 1 foot in the classroom, and he was going to be there. And then he got drafted rather high and decided he should play pro ball right away.
I think it was a good decision.
Worked out well for him anyway. Long pass down the field and incomplete. Went for Khalil Lewis, and in coverage against Delvin Randall, who has 8 career interceptions. Randall, good coverage, and it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Cincinnati's going to have to hit some deep balls in this second half, and once again, it fakes like he's going to hit the screen play and then turns it up on the wheel outside. They're trying to get Lewis the ball against the safeties inside in the slot.
And off now to Warren. Warren will get to the 32 for a gain of 3. What I was going to say regarding that turnover chain in South Florida, I know somebody who runs a hurricane-themed shop near the campus. He cannot keep those turnover chain T-shirts in stock. He goes through hundreds every week.
It's called undefeated.
Yeah, I know. 1-7. No one's finding it very cute.
No,
but when you're unbeaten, yeah, it's fun.
Good for Manny Diaz for coming up with that and getting some turnover.
That's going to be a first down and a little bit more here for the Bearcats. Nice catch made by Geddes, who had the touchdown earlier. He gets out to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like Hayden Moore's gotten a lot more confidence now. That ball got out of his hands quickly. He's made 2 good throws. Had a good drive to start the second half. So that gives Cincinnati a chance to go back down and answer again.
Well, if he makes a mistake, you'll hear about it from his offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock. He was at Notre Dame last year. He's That's a solid 7-yard pickup there for Warren. They have a little bit of a occasionally bombastic relationship, and they'll admit that.
We asked Caden how he and Coach Denbrock got along, and he said he's really direct.
Well, aren't your coaches supposed to be, right? No mixed messages.
Yep. Nope. Need to have them wondering what you're thinking.
Fake to Warren, deep drop Moore, plenty of time. Going down for Lewis, and it's just way overthrown. It was covered that time by Artrell Foster, another veteran in the Temple secondary.
That was a 2nd down and short, so it gave him an opportunity to take a deep shot. Now you've got to go back and get your 1st down on 3rd and 3, understanding you're probably going to get press man, and they're going to try to take all the short stuff away.
And off to Boone, looking for that 1st down. He'll have that and plenty more. Boone, a very positive cut, and steps out of bounds at around the 21-yard line. A great run for Boone.
The thing that happens when you play man coverage underneath, everybody's turning and running with somebody they have man-to-man, and if you squirt a run, there's very little support. And you had Chandler come up late because he's the free safety in the middle. Good play call by Coach Denbrock.
After a relatively low-scoring 1st half, we might have a big offensive 2nd half here. See if Cincinnati can keep it going. It's Boone again, and he's following Trout, who is back in the game, and is still going, and is now in the end zone. And Trout, who made a big block on that play, is down again at the 15-yard line, but he should know that his effort really helped Boone, and then Boone took over the last 5 yards, getting through the tackle by Randall. We saw Trout earlier in this half being looked at by the trainers around the head and neck area. What an effort here by Mike Boone, man.
It's the off-tackle power play. You've got big Trout pulling around and leading up into the hole like an isolation. But what a run by Boone. Breaking tackles, taking care of the ball to the end zone. Trout's a transfer from Ohio State. Big, strong guy. He's a 6'5" guy. He's tall. You can see that he just gets rolled up there in the middle of that pile. It happens so many times with these big, tall offensive linemen.
And he's got several teammates around him there, so the offensive linemen who are with him.
Dave, one of the good things with the graduate transfer rule is a guy like Trout who wasn't getting to play at Ohio State. It wasn't the experience he was hoping for, and he kind of gave up, it sounded like, when we talked to Coach Fickle. He gets to transfer here and be a starter and have a chance to make something out of his football career, and he's a graduate transfer with 2 years left because he only played 3 years at Ohio State. So he's very bright and graduated early.
This time he's going to need some help getting off the field. Looks like it's a leg issue this time, not his neck. Unfortunately, can't even put any weight on it right now. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Luke Fickell builds this roster in his image, because he is so Ohio. I mean, his whole career, life has been in this state. He could probably name you every high school coach in the state at every level, and this is a fabulous state for high school football. I think college football fans are very well aware of that. So it'll be really interesting to see how much of an Ohio imprint he is able to get on this roster. 7 plays, 71 yards, and 206. An incredible effort by Mike Boone to get into the end zone, fighting off tacklers the last several yards after the front of his group. The line did a great job. Senior from Florida, Mike Boone, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And Cincinnati was trailing 13-0 at the half. They're now down 20-14. The problem is, Mac, they scored first possession of the 3rd quarter. Great. Temple comes right down the field on them. So now the pressure is really going to be on this Bearcat defense.
It's impressive that both of these coaches offensively made very good adjustments at halftime, and they've come out and moved the ball much better in the 3rd quarter than they did the first 2 quarters.
Party at the 50 rages on. Kick in the direction of Isaiah Wright at the 2. Wright just shooting down the field. 45, cut back 50, 40. Now it's a race to the 20. Gets a block to the 5. Touchdown, Isaiah Wright. 98 yards.
Isaiah Wright on the kickoff return. Touchdown for Cincinnati.
Coaches said special teams and turnovers would be the difference. Wright is a guy who was a quarterback. He was a running back. He was a wide receiver in high school. And here he is. Tremendous blocking throughout. He's got good vision, good patience. They said he doesn't have dominant speed. He has good football speed. And you can see it here. A lot of guys can run really fast in pads and may not have the track speed.
Jerry Rice had good football speed.
Yeah, and it worked out pretty good for him.
And now Temple is shooing the 1 and going to go for 2. Get this thing to 28-14 if they can. And they're a man short. They got to hurry up and get a lineman out there who may not have gotten the memo.
And we had a rule we'd never go for 2 unless it was the 4th quarter or we were way back. We didn't want to lose our momentum.
So Newtile calling. He's got Rich Rivado at the fullback. They'll give it to Rich Rivado, who gives it to Isaiah Wright, who's going to throw left-handed to Newtile, and that is a 2-point conversion. We asked Isaiah Wright yesterday when he runs the Wildcat, you throw the ball? He goes, I might have a pass in me.
He did, and obviously it came at a good time. This is an old Boise State play. Get it back to your slot. He throws it back to the receiver. Whoever thought that Frankie Juice would be catching balls for touchdowns?
Well, we had Moore catch 1 for UC. Now we've got Frankie Juice with a 2-point conversion there.
Well, they said Frankie Juice was the most valuable player in the intramural softball tournament, maybe the most famous player, because he hit the walk-off home run in intramural softball to win. So, but I can promise you that bunch on defense for Cincinnati is not very happy after they gave up a special team score.
And that was coordinator Marcus Freeman, who you saw a moment ago, a little emotional on the sideline there with his group. Young coach who's very close with Luke Fickell, played for Luke Fickell, worked for Luke Fickell. It's working for him again here.
And they've given up a field goal because of a short field on a fumble and now a special teams touchdown. And they know those are things they can't do and give themselves a chance to win.
Short kickoff taken here by Warren, the second, at the 8-yard line. He'll get to the 25 and the 26, and that is going to be all. He's wrestled down by 2 tacklers, Benny Walls, number 32, being one of them. Well, tomorrow on ESPN, we got significant college football playoff implications really every week now until the end. Florida State and number 4 Clemson at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. The number 2 Alabama going to Starkville at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, and take on 16th ranked Mississippi State. Both games are also streaming live on the ESPN app. And Warren, who returned the kick, is now down.
Dave, I was a guy that wanted more playoff games, but we've got them.
Yes,
Look
you
around
do.
tomorrow. That's
Yeah.
what we've got. We've got playoff games all over the place tomorrow.
I happen to be a fan of leaving things as they are, which it's going to be 4 teams for a while yet. And even though we know the talk shows will start with 8 or 16, or somebody will print an article, listen, I can do it with 32 teams. But I'm fine with 4. Plus, how many games are we going to ask these guys to play? Still expect them to go to class.
You're telling me Notre Dame at Miami's not a playoff game?
Yeah, it is. Because the loser of that, even if Miami can get to the ACC championship game, which appears just about done, and win it out, you know, who knows? Maybe they could be a 1-loss team in there. But yeah, Notre Dame gets a second loss. That's it. Much as Ohio State was eliminated last weekend. Long down the field, going for Geddes into coverage, and it's going to be incomplete. Broken up there by Mike Jones. We check in at field level and Alex Cordray.
Well, Dave, in the first half, the defense is dominated, but you got to imagine now the defensive coordinators on both teams are not too pleased. And it actually turns out that Bearcats Defensive coordinator Marcus Freeman goes way back with Temple's DC, Tavon Johnson. The two coached together at Purdue. Prior to that, they had history at Ohio State. And normally they say they talk and text offense often, but this week all communication has been off limits.
Yeah, that's a good point. They spoke, I think, a week ago, and that's it until after the game.
Well, I may not speak after the game. I coached against some really good friends, and we kind of took a break for a while.
You need to publish a book of some of the conversations you had with other coaches before games.
Yeah, some people got to die before I write a book.
Oh, man.
There's got to be some time passed.
But I'll be at your book signings, so I got to get a copy of that. So the quarterback, Hayden Moore, scrambling there for 3 yards. He's brought down by Quincy Roche, number 90, who's had an impact when he's been out of the field. And now Cincinnati gives the ball up. It'll be 4th down and 6 with 6:24 and counting in this third quarter.
Yeah, kickoff return for a touchdown changed all the momentum in this game. It was back and forth. We had us a ball game, and now you've got a quick 3 and out for Cincinnati. Somebody on defense has got to knock a ball loose for Cincinnati and make a play.
Is Temple going to bring a heavy pressure here? Low snap, and it's fumbled. And the turnover on downs, really. The punt never happened. Smith could not hang on to the ball, and Trayvon Williams, the sophomore out of Philly, able to tackle him before Smith could get anywhere. So Temple is going to have field position at around the 27-yard line of the Bearcats.
And this is the second snap that's really low, and as the punter, you've got to make sure you secure the snap. It's really important that your punter has very good hands. He's got to keep his eye on the ball. He pulled it up a little bit. I'm sure he's heard so much about Temple's ability to block punts, and he hurried and lost the ball. Another bad mistake by Cincinnati. A turnover, a special teams touchdown, and now another turnover in deep field position.
And off to David Hood. He'll go right in the middle, and he'll be hit immediately by number 6, Perry Young, the linebacker, for maybe a 1-yard gain there. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And suddenly Temple is sitting on an opportunity to really blow this game open here in the third quarter if they can get 6.
Yeah, and in this game for Cincinnati, you got to make them kick it or knock a ball loose. If you're Temple, you got to score if you want to get some separation here. Can't miss this opportunity.
They go to Hood again, and Cincinnati read this beautifully. Great job by the defense that time. Marquise Copeland, number 44, led the charge and just stuffed it.
Yes, he had great leverage. Outside arm, number 44 on your screen there, penetrates and gets Hood for a huge loss. So now you're back to 3rd down and 13. But he just whipped McHale. McHale tried to reach him. What a play by Copeland.
So Rich Rivato comes in, number 45, Rob Rich Rivato, on 3rd down and 13.
Now you try to get half of it back, and you got a motion penalty.
Offense, number 19, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And Bryant immediately left the game after that 5-yard penalty. Now 3rd down and 18.
Yeah, you never want to have that penalty close to the head coach's sideline.
No, sir. And
He'll
he'll just
get you
run
out
off
there
as fast as you can. Would you talk to a kid, or you just let him go?
Let him go. You got a lot of people going to grab him. There's no question. And with your attitude right there, you're not in a position where you'd like to discuss it with him at that point. Like to cool off. Now they try to get back in field goal position. But keep the right to kick. Be smart.
Down the middle of the field. 25. Oh, good tackle there by Young. It certainly looked like Randall Jones was going to get a lot more than that. He got back to the original line of scrimmage, the 27. So that is field goal range here for Bumeri.
Yeah, Young's a really good football player, too. He's a guy that can tackle in space. Had 10 tackles last week against Tulane. You get those wide receivers against those linebackers in space, it's hard to tackle. This will be a huge stop for the Cincinnati defense if they can either block this or have him miss it.
45 yards out. Long enough. No good. So Cincinnati holds after botching a punt. They do not give up any points and keep themselves in this game with 3:42 to go in the third quarter. So let's take a look at the standings in the American, because this game, these two teams are playing for bowl eligibility. Cincinnati's got to run it out to get the 6-6. Temple, 2 of 3, will get them 6. And Temple, of course, the defending conference champions, and back-to-back 10-win seasons under Matt Rule, who split and left for Baylor. And what I found really interesting, Mac, is you don't usually hear this very often about the coach who takes over for the coach, is how close he and Matt Rule are, as Cogswell makes the catch. That'll be at the 31-yard line, a 4-yard pickup for the tight end.
You know, I always thought coaching changes were kind of handled like divorce. You get divorced, you always go opposite of the one you married. And usually when they lose a coach, they go totally opposite. They went with Matt Rule's best friend. And here, Luke Fickell came in, and Tommy Tuberville was a legendary coach that had done a good job. But Fickell comes in as a young coach, but they actually hired Matt Rule again just about for Jeff Collins.
Yeah, that was amazing to find out how much they had worked together in different stops along the college football landscape. We got a big 3rd down and 3 coming up here, a tackle there by Randall.
Yeah, they talk every week. Jeff Collins was the defensive coordinator down at Western Carolina, and Matt Rule worked for him. I think Matt was very instrumental in him being hired at Temple. Big 3rd down.
Going to go for a deep shot. A lot of bodies down there. And coming away with it. What a catch by Lewis. Did he hang on? Yes. Wow. Something looked weird there, Matt, because there were 4 people going for that ball, but Lewis came away with it.
Yes, it looked like they pushed the inside receiver out. You had the wheel route that 14 was trying to pick. And Pinckney never got inside enough, but once again, Lewis matched on the safety for the big play.
So the long gainer gets it down to the 36, and Warren lowers his shoulder and is still fighting. Well, UC getting a little salty now on offense with their running backs. Chandler and Warren had a big collision. 2 number 3s going at it. And it will be 1st down for UC at the 22-yard line.
And we see the Cincinnati team taking on an attitude like their head coach. He's a fighter. They're fighting their way back into this thing.
Well, they're outgaining Temple on the ground, 190 to 131. Moore in some trouble here. And that's a smart throw. A lot of pressure from the middle. Julian Taylor, redshirt senior, number 94, was causing problems. Alex?
Well, earlier Mac was saying that momentum in college football is a funny thing, and as we know, coming out of the half, talking to head coach Luke Fickell, he said we have to find ways to generate momentum. This is a team that takes a lot of pride in their energy, and right now on the sidelines, you can feel that they need that to keep it going.
A lot of heat coming in here. Underneath they go. This is Boone. Make that number 3, Warren, and he will get to very close to the mark. Going to be about a yard short. So, and what is undoubtedly 2-down territory here. Jones on the stop. 3rd and less than a yard. Warren again. 1st down. Finch brought him down.
Yeah, Coach Fickell kept talking about we've got to teach this team to fight till the end. They've got to continue to get tougher and compete. And we're seeing his personality and attitude come out in this team with the stop of that defense and giving the offense a chance to keep this team in the game.
Now number 5, Mike Boone is in the game. He had a great touchdown run earlier tonight. Moore looking at the end zone. Incomplete. 2nd down coming up. 42 seconds remaining. They can't get a 1st down without getting a touchdown. Temperature now below 30 degrees here. The good news is there's hardly any wind.
Everybody likes to throw it on 1st down. If it's incomplete, you're 2nd and 10.
And off to Boone. will get dropped around the 9, maybe the 8-yard line. Tackle there made by the safety, Sean Chandler. Temple staff thinks that both Sean Chandler and Delvin Randall, the 2 safeties for Temple, have NFL futures.
Yeah, Jeff Collins coached great defensive backs at Florida, said they could both play at Florida. Now you're getting your call from the boundary. This is a head coach's or an offensive coordinator's call. Man-to-man to the field. You might well see a combination route now with the trips to the field.
Going to go the other way. Poon snatching it out of the air and just hand-fighting his way, but he couldn't get through Mike Jones, number 10, who stood up to him that time. And the third quarter will end with a 4th down decision for Mike Fickle, or Luke Fickle, pardon me. Down 28-14, facing a tough spot, 4th and 8. Will he go for 3 or go for the 4th down? All right, let's see. The decision, Mac, from Luke Fickle is to go for 3 here with his place kicker, Ryan Jones.
You have to score to stay in the game. So when you didn't make yards on your 3rd down to make it a 4th and short, this is definitely the right thing to do.
Jacobs, the safety, is the holder. Started that job a year ago. And 3 on the board for the Bearcats. 28-17.
And that was a great sequence. You get a stop by the Cincinnati defense, and then your offense goes and gets points, which keeps you in the ball game, because after the fumble snap with the punter for Cincinnati, that could have blown this thing out of proportion.
Hey, Allstate is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. And to date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. They had a beautiful show, part of Veterans Day celebrations here, when they had all sorts of skydivers coming in with flags and lights, and it was just absolutely beautiful to see. And finally, the American flag came down. An equally beautiful sight. It's an 11-play, 64-yard drive in 3 minutes and 46 seconds. So that's push-ups time. Now, we haven't seen any Temple coaches do push-ups tonight. They have to do them after turnovers generated by their defense. The Temple player will pick out a coach and hand him a ball and say, buddy, it's all you. Second time that Cincinnati has hooked the kickoff out of bounds, giving Temple field position at the 35. While there are a lot of folks who have celebrated birthdays today, it's also the birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps. An outfit too tough to have a birthday cake.
Absolutely.
Or if they do, they'll cut it with a sword.
Thank you, Marines, for keeping us safe and protecting our country. Thank you for veterans all over the world. Give us a right to come and watch and play a great game like football.
Looking at 1st down and 10 from the 35-yard line as Newtile will fire right away. Low pass, too low. Scrape the turf. Incomplete for Bryant. 2nd down and 10. Well, I'll throw my hat in the ring for Veterans Day. The rakish gentleman in the front row on the left is my dad. Jack Vermont is a bomber pilot. That's his crew right there. B-17, you put 8 or 9 guys in there, and he was the pilot.
And my dad, Melvin Lester Brown, was also in the Navy and on a plane and helped us stay safe as a country. So proud of him as well.
That was long enough ago, Mac, that it wasn't even the Air Force. It was the U.S. Army Air Corps. And I carry with me, always as a memento, I have his pilot officer school graduation ring that I always wear. My dad passed a few years back, but I'm always very proud of him. Good man. Loved him a lot and taught me a lot. So thanks to our crew for putting it up there also. I really very much appreciate that. We're looking at 3rd down and 7. Under 14.5 minutes to go. So a big opportunity here for the Bearcats on defense. Empty set for Newtile. Up the middle at the 40, and a nice stutter step by Bryant, and he's going to get a lot more than the first down. He's finally going to be shoved out of bounds at the 46-yard line of the Bearcats by Taylor.
Good play call by Temple. They put a fast guy on a linebacker inside with a shallow crossing route. And then you've got Minor that can't tackle Bryant in space. One of the problems that Cincinnati has, they cannot line up and play press man against these fast receivers at Temple like Temple can against them.
It's a bunched formation, heavily unbalanced line to the right with two tight ends. They pitch it to Hood, and that's where they're going. And Hood gets a big block and a collision with Carter Jacobs, who bumped him out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Second time we've just seen a Cincinnati defender give up his body to make a stop.
This has been an important play all night. It's unbalanced line. You get them out flanked to the right. Tight end blocks. Not a very good block by Adonis. But then Shark, really good blocker on the corner at fullback.
So Hood's having a big night tonight.
Lining up in the play again. At some point, they'll have a play back to the right.
Well, they went to the right this time. A new tile on the option, and he gets down quickly. But he will also keep the chains moving with a first down.
Yeah, you've got unbalanced to the field, unbalanced to the field, unbalanced to the field. Then Cincinnati adjusts. Good job by the Temple offensive coordinator and quarterback to run the option back to the short side.
So first and 10, 33-yard line. And for Temple, maybe Jeff Collins is thinking if we can punch in 6+1 here, we'll be not clinched it, but pretty close. Newtown in trouble here, and he's going to be sacked. First sack of the ball game. Marquise Copeland dumps him.
Marquise is having him a really good night tonight. He's quick. He plays with good leverage. He's a good pass rusher, and he is playing hard throughout this football game. People forget he's 290 pounds. He wears that 44 and he looks like a fullback. He's not.
No.
He's not. 6'3", 290 and playing with a high motor.
Newtown pumps, looks, has time, wants it all. Middle of the field, Bryant wide open to the 10. And inside there, Jacobs brings him down. Well, that's the second or third time, Mac, they've had that play where the receiver has nobody near him.
He is absolutely going to throw this to the right on a quick out. And then he's patient enough. He stops. Defender falls down, and he throws the ball to Bryant over the middle once again on the shallow cross.
First and goal at the 7-yard line. Hood on the carry. He'll fight for 4. Second and goal. Clock running at 11:24.
Here's where you got to break the defense's will if you're Temple's offensive line. Break their will. Knock it in there. Be more physical up front.
So Hood was getting close to 100 yards. And now we have a Temple player shaken up. That's Leon Johnson, who has missed some time with injuries. An offensive lineman will step aside with Temple in the red zone.
Number 4 versus number 5. One night, 2 blockbuster matchups.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun with college basketball starting. Cincinnati played today, as a matter of fact. Now they're playing their games at Northern Kentucky University this year while their arena is being worked on. So Johnson looks like hopefully he'll be okay. And Newtile very cleverly hangs onto the ball, and Frankie Juice gets 6 for the Owls. Nice bit of handiwork there by Frank.
Frank is a really good decision maker. That's what he's done. He's made good decisions in the passing game. He's made good decisions in the running game when he scrambles. And this is the zone read by the quarterback. He sees that Hood doesn't have it up inside, pulls it out, and walks in for the touchdown. Young man's a good leader. He's very confident, and he's also a really good decision maker.
So Temple goes 9:65 in just under 4 minutes. 11 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Bearcats face a tall task against that Temple defense. So the Temple Owls need to win 2 of their final 3 to be bowl eligible. And Frank Newtile is getting them ever closer to one of those 2 wins.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network, and Allstate, official protector of college football fans.
There on the 4th floor of Cincinnati's Walter C. Langsam Library is the Triceracopter exhibit. That's Vietnam-era U.S. Army OH-6A KU's helicopter with a dinosaur triceratops twist. It's the body of a chopper and the legs of a dinosaur. And some of those folks wouldn't mind crawling inside of that right now because the wind's picked up a little bit on the field.
And in the press box.
It's a touch. We've got the enormous. Here's Warren, 15. He's got a little room here. Warren bounces it outside, fights off one tackler. That slowed him down enough, but still a solid job by Warren. And Sean Chandler, one of those starters we talked about. We saw Sharg out there, number 4-2, in there on the stop. We check in. Somebody who knows about the wind on the field. Here's Alex.
Yeah, gentlemen, I don't want to hear you two talking about the weather.
That's fair.
Well, how about this? Last week, Temple football honored their orthopedic physician, Dr. J. Milo Sewards. Sewards will report for duty with the United States Navy. Now, the date and location of his second deployment couldn't be shared due to confidentiality. But the team, they say they will miss him. They're so grateful for his service and just the care that he gives to our service members.
Yeah, that is a difficult job. Down the middle, Moore goes all the way for it, and nobody seemed to know where the ball was, to be honest, at the 10-yard line. He had Geddes and Lewis down there. There were a couple of Temple defenders as well. Nobody could really find the ball. 2nd down and 10.
And now if you're Coach Denbrock, you're in a real battle. You can't just throw it because you can't protect well enough. You have to keep it back in, have to chip it back, have to chip with the tight end, and at the same time, you've got to catch up. You're way down with a little over 10 minutes left in the game, so it's a very difficult spot to call plays.
Yeah, Mike Denbrock calling him from the press box, the offensive coordinator for Luke Fickell. Low snap, Moore, and a delay by Warren did not fool Julian Taylor. Taylor's put together a few good plays tonight, number 94. For the Owls.
Yeah, this is a delayed draw. You're going to act like you're sprinting out to the right, and you think everybody's going to go. And big man, big 5-year senior at 6'5", 290, 285, Julian Taylor stays in his gap to make the play. Now you're 3rd and 16.
Temple rushing 4. Moore gets away from 1. He's got another one chasing him, and he's just going to take off and sit down so he doesn't get smacked. So a lot of pressure from Finch. He was the first guy that flushed Moore out of the pocket, so a frustrating series for Moore and the Bearcats. And we were talking about special teams, and we think of the impact of special teams in this game. Very early on, Cincinnati has a punt return. Big play.
For a touchdown. For a touchdown.
And then they give up a kickoff return right after they score a touchdown in this game.
14-point swing.
Yep.
Then they fumble a snap on the punt.
Man, this is not going to happen. There was a good snap, too, to the punter.
False start. Offense, number 3. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Double-digit penalties tonight for Cincinnati. It's the 3rd time this season that has happened to them. They had a dozen last week at Tulane. They managed to win.
Now, Coach Fickell and I talked about even him hiring some officials to come out and practice to make sure they emphasize it even more.
A rugby roller here from Smith. Look out there! That nearly touched a Temple player, which would have made it available for Cincinnati to pick up, but he avoided it. And it's going to be Temple football. Good footwork that time by Randall Jones. Otherwise, that punt would have hit him. Could have been wide open for the Bearcats. Coming up on SportsCenter tonight, Michael Porter Jr. and Marvin Bagley III debut. The numbers behind Notre Dame's turnaround. And emotional reunions as heroes return home. All on SportsCenter, 1:30 Eastern. Alex Cordry, Mac Brown, Dave Lamont at Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, and on the carry, Rich Ravato, the fullback, number 45. 7 solid yards. And it'll be 2nd down and 3.
All of those pounding yards and number of plays that Temple had in the first half now start becoming a factor for a tired Cincinnati defense in the 4th quarter. Temple will slow down the pace a little bit.
Rich Ravato, hands covering that football. As if he's holding a Philly roast pork with broccoli rabe sandwich. And it's a 1st down and 10.
I would think that would mean he's going to take care of it. Nobody's going to touch it with him.
Same thing would be happening right now if you gave one of those to me. So, yeah. Ravato again showing some beautiful footwork for a big guy, light on the feet. And that's a 9-yard pickup there. And right now, Temple's offensive line is dominating.
And because you're worn out on defense, you're undersized anyway if you're Cincinnati. You don't have a lot of depth. You're worn out. The 2-yard plays in the 1st quarter become 6 and 8 yards in the 4th quarter because they can't tackle. Temple really slowing down the pace and letting that clock run.
Rich Ravato one more time, and he will get a 1st down. Takes a lot of people to bring that guy down. Redshirt junior out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. He brings over 100 yards for the entire season. He and Nick Sharga split the fullback duties.
And the Temple offensive coaches would have told their offensive players, we want to finish this game with the ball or a touchdown. 7 minutes left. We used to call it the 4-minute offense. We're going to run it. We're going to slow it down. We're going to pound them. They know we're going to run it. We know we're going to run it. Doesn't matter. We're still going to make our 1st downs.
They've gotten a steady performance out of Frank Newtile. It's his first rushing touchdown of his career. Rich Ravato just continues to thrust forward. There's 6 there. So he's just getting chunks of yards, as Mac pointed out.
Yeah, he's 230 pounds and fresh. Hadn't played a lot. He's excited. So we're not dodging anybody now. Play selection's easy.
This is Temple tough football.
Ain't no dodging.
No. So the Owls getting closer to their 5th win. And a loss would mean the Bearcats will not be bowl eligible with 6 wins as Rich Ravato just continues to tear off chunks of yards. 6, 7, 8 at a time. 1st down for the Owls. Under 6.5 minutes now remaining in this one.
If you're Coach Fickle, you're telling your guys, keep playing. Keep playing. Even if you can't win this game, knock a ball loose. But even if you can't win this game, you're playing for the next one and the next one and for spring practice the next year. Trying to get the culture changed.
That time, Rich Ravato, you could hear popping pads as Terrell Gilbert, number 2, hit him immediately. And he lost the football, and it's going to be a fumble recovered by Cincinnati. Somewhere in that scrum came the football.
You cannot have penalties, and you cannot have turnovers when you're trying to kill the clock and finish the game.
So down 18 with 5:45 to go.
Yeah, the only chance for Cincinnati to win is to get turnovers. The only chance.
All right, somewhere in here was a fumble. And to be honest, we had a really hard time trying to find the football in this gaggle of people, but watch the circle there.
Yeah, you've got to keep both hands on it. It looks like that Gilbert ends up kind of stripping it away. You cannot allow that to happen when you're running your 4-minute offense at the end of the game.
So Nate Moore is going to try to direct a frantic comeback, going to throw it. Oh my, just dropped it right in. What a throw. And Lewis makes the catch.
Corner route against 2-deep zone. You don't play as much man now because you're trying to keep the ball in front of you. It is the perfect throw.
Might be Moore's best throw of the night. That was absolutely gorgeous. Can he do it again? He has the time across the middle. He's got Lewis one more time, and Lewis will move it to the 23, maybe the 24-yard line. Jones on the stop, so it sets up second down. They're going to need 4.
When the Cincinnati defense gets you the ball back, it gives you some hope. It changes momentum again. You never know what can happen in college football if you've got a little time.
Both teams have all of their second half timeouts available. Moore got belted after the play. The pass, that is an unreal interception by Delvin Randall. Unbelievable.
Intercepted on the play by number 2, Delvin Randall.
Let's see this one again. Did he stay in bounds?
Well, if anyone questions whether Delvin Randall could play at Florida or whether he could play in the NFL, that just answered it. It looks like a catch. What a play.
Ball never hit the ground, and they have to do all that process of the catch business with defensive players too. So the replay booth is
Rolling on the field is an interception down at the 1-yard line. Previous play is under further review.
Thought they might want to look at it again. So we will see, did the ball ever make contact with the ground, or is this a clean interception? Again, the ruling is interception. Now, if this holds up, that would be Randall's 9th career interception and his 5th this year.
He catches it with one hand, with his left hand. The question would be right there. It looked like the tip of the ball hit the ground.
Is that enough evidence to overturn the call on the field?
I think right there, it touches the ground.
This is really going to be interesting. This is basically the game. Cincinnati still has a shot here if they get the ball back with 4:58 to go. But if Temple gets it, and the ball at the moment is resting at the 1-yard line, they may be able to run this game out.
Temple offensive coaches are talking about ball security right now. I can promise you that. But I do believe that the ball goes back to Cincinnati, and they'll still have a chance in this ball game.
And here comes the ruling from the booth. They're picking it up and they're moving the ball back.
After further review, the defender failed to maintain control on the way to the ground. It is an incomplete pass. 3rd and 4 for Cincinnati at the 24-yard line.
So the Bearcats are given another chance at get-out-of-jail-free card.
And unlike the first half, Cincinnati still has all of their timeouts. So having 3 timeouts extends this ball game a lot longer.
Yeah, Luke Fickell called a couple when he just wasn't happy with the organization he saw on the field on both sides of the ball. And he hasn't had to worry about that in this half. Right at the sticks. Catch made there by Savage. That should be a first down chain mover. And it is.
Really good job by Savage knowing where the sticks are. You get just beyond the sticks on a 3rd down throw. Really
Moore's
smart
been
play.
decisive on a lot of these throws, Mac. He hasn't waited too long.
Been much better the second half.
And that one almost went to the band.
I think that had to be a busted route because he looked like it wasn't working, so he wanted to get it in the seats.
But also the right decision and done quickly. Stops the clock with 4:28 to go in this game. See Moore on the drive. one absolutely gorgeous throw and had an interception that was not an interception ultimately by the Booth. Moore's going to take off, and it didn't work. Sacked at the 25-yard line by the redshirt freshman Dan Archibong, number 95, who's also seen a little time on offense tonight.
Yeah, it's one of the troubles when you can't mix in the run, and your offensive line is really not as good as that defensive front four at Temple, and you can't take sacks. Kills entirely too much time. You've got to score touchdowns, so you've got 2 downs to get your 15.
Temple rushing 5 here. Middle of the field is open. Catch inside the 10, down the 5 for Devin Gray. Brought down by Crump. And Cincinnati trying to go as fast as they can here. First and goal at the 5-yard line. Temple scrambling to get enough people off the field in time. They do. Temple not set defensively. They go to the ground, and Temple got set defensively. Mike Boone ran into a bunch of Owls there after a 1-yard pickup. Martin led the parade.
And if you're Coach Fickle, you like the fact that your team's still competing. You got to score, and you got to score fast. You got to believe you got a chance to win, but at least they're still competing.
Clock focus there at 3:15 and counting. Play action fake to the end zone, too far. Stops the clock. Flag down. So with 3:11 to go, this will likely go against Temple. Lewis being covered by Foster that time.
Pass interference, offense, number 85, 15-yard penalty, second down.
On 85, Geddes. Not on 1, Lewis. Let's see if we can find it.
He looks like he's going to come inside, and I'm sure they feel like here, even though it's man coverage, and I used to fight over this all the time, that he blocked the corner instead of moving his shoulder down underneath and trying to rub. There's a real fine line between blocking and rubbing, and I think that was a good call.
Yeah. Second down and goal, but now back at the 20-yard line. Moore slinging it. They're back to the 5, and they're back about to where they just were. So Gray with another grab. Now they're down at the 3. Third and goal from the 3.
And now, Dave, you've got to score. You get it back to 23. Then you go for 2 to get it to 25. Then you cut it to 10. You onside kick. You got your timeouts. Who knows? I'd still rather be Temple, but you got a chance.
Busted up at the goal line. Incomplete. Franklin, number 36, able to get in there instead of Khalil Lewis for Cincinnati. Stops the clock.
And this is the ball game.
Yeah, 4th down and 3.
Got to score. He'll throw it, and he's got to get it in the end zone. If you're Temple, you tighten up your man coverage. You never want to be standing in the end zone on man coverage in the red zone.
Throwing in the face of the blitz. Down to the 2. Touchdown is the ruling. Boone reached over the goal line and smacked the ball down as he was being tackled.
Game with the blitz. It was a hot call. It's going to be really, really close. Let's see if the knee is down. Shoulders down before the ball crosses.
Well,
check right there. It looks like a touchdown.
But, yeah, you know what? The more I think about it, the ball is crossing the plane as his arm is hitting.
Yep, I think it's across right there from our angle.
And by the way, look where the official is. I mean,
yeah.
Nobody.
He's got a pretty good seat.
Nobody has a better view than that official in this case.
But now while they're reviewing this, your offensive coordinator is talking to your offense about what to do for the 2-point play. The defensive coordinator for Temple is talking about how to defend this play and how critical this play is in this ballgame.
And how critical this play is for the replay official, who basically has the ballgame in his hands here. Cincinnati still has an opportunity. It's a long shot for sure, but it's still a chance. 2:34 to go. Or this is a 4th down play, we remind you, and it would be Temple ball at the 1. The ruling on the field here is touchdown.
After further review, ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And I think that's the fair way to handle it.
What a play by Boone. Good job by Hayden Moore with a hot route with a blitz from the safety in the field. Get the ball out of his hands. He gets it to Boone, and Boone makes an outstanding play for the score.
For his first career receiving touchdown and his second touchdown tonight. Both of his touchdowns have required incredible effort on his part. So you're going to go for one here. And with 2:34 to go, it's 35-24, and everybody knows what's coming next.
Well, and the reason he did that, and you can go either way, the reason he did that is to keep his team alive. If he missed the two-point conversion, then he has no chance. So he felt like by kicking it, at least he can go for two later and still have a chance.
Oh, tomorrow night, ABC, Hard Rock Stadium, number 3, Notre Dame, and number 7, undefeated Miami. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, streaming live on the ESPN app. It's going to be an emotional night. Brandon Wimbush has had a terrific season for Brian Kelly's Irish. We'll see how he does against Miami's vastly improved defense. Almost I should say vastly improved defense with that speed they have on that side of the ball.
Both of these teams were teams we weren't talking about in preseason. Nobody was talking about Miami. Nobody was talking about Notre Dame. Brian Kelly lost it. He couldn't get his team turned around, who did a tremendous job here when he was at Cincinnati. Mark Richt's not going to get Miami back where it is.
Temple, they're first. 30 seconds.
And now both these teams have a chance to be playoff teams.
Temple has 2 timeouts remaining.
The reason you use your timeouts there, you don't need them if you're Temple.
Right.
And you see how they line up, and now you're going to adjust what you're doing for the onside kick with your defense.
Temple trying to get a 5th win. They have 2 games remaining and 2 chances to get to 6 in bowl eligibility. Cincinnati had to win out the month of November. And although the coaches always preach, let's be 1-0 this week, you know those players are thinking about the bowl eligibility, and the coaches are thinking about the chance of 2 weeks of extra practices.
And Dave, as we look out there, a lot of the guys on this hands team are single digits. The guys the coaches trust.
Here we go. Big bounce. Temple's got it. I believe a single digit made the grab. That was Keith Kirkwood, the wide receiver, number 5, Jeff Collins' college number at Western Carolina.
Compared him with his trust and personality to Dak Prescott when he was at Mississippi State. You go catch it. Get it at a high point. Get it before the defenders can get there. Get down immediately and put both hands on it. Now Coach Fickle will use all 3 of his timeouts. But you've got to just make a first down if you're Temple.
And they'll be going aggressively after the football. David Hood, number 24, is the tailback. He'll get it. Spins. And the 41-yard line. The safety Carter Jacobs up to make the stop. There's a timeout taken there by Cincinnati. If you're not familiar with the Temple program, Mac and I have talked repeatedly tonight about single-digit players. This is an honor at Temple. And Matt Rule is really the guy who got this going. And, of course, his buddy Jeff Collins has kept it going. So there you see the guys who, and it's pretty much an experience thing, juniors and seniors pretty much only. And the number 1 jersey is handed out on a weekly basis. And Freddie Booth Lloyd, the defensive lineman, went from 99 to 1 for this game. And that's Jeff Collins' decision as to who gets the number 1. He factors in classroom habits, practice habits, and how well you played recently. And there you see the perfect representative there. Nick Sharga, rock guitarist and fullback. Randall there. Armstead, number 7, is also a single-digit guy. And David Hood ripping it out of the 34-yard line. That's his 21st career rush attempt. And you know what? You mentioned Armstead with a turf toe. We have not seen him hardly at all, if at all, in this half. So maybe this weather, he re-aggravated that. But you know what? With Hood, we've seen Little Williams, Rich Ravato, and Sharga in there. They have done a good job. There's the first down they needed. And now Luke Fickell is not stopping the clock.
Yeah, what a special honor when your head coach chooses you as one of 9 guys to be a leader on your football team. And he can take it away if they don't act right.
They'll run it with Hood again. Cincinnati trying to get the football.
And this game's over, but as a head coach, Coach Fickell wants to make sure his guys are still playing hard. You're going to grade it.
UCF will come to Philadelphia next Saturday. You'll see that game on ESPNU, noon Eastern time. And then Temple goes into Tulsa for a Thanksgiving weekend game. And they win out. They'll go 7-5. They got to get to 6. That's the key. And they are seconds away from 500 in conference play and for the season. They had a 2-1 there for a little while. Then South Florida and Houston got him. Slowed him down. Hood up the middle. He'll be short of the first down. Clock under a minute.
Temple's playing more like they did last year over the last 2 weeks. They've finally gotten their identity. The transition from Coach Collins, from Coach Rule to Coach Collins is working now. And they do have a chance to win the rest of their games.
Down to 38 seconds on this chilly night, and a victory formation here for Temple and for Jeff Collins. That'll do it. Frankie Juice will celebrate with his teammates. He gets another win as the quarterback here, and a solid performance all the way around for number 18, Frank Newtile. Rushing touchdown on a great zone read, threw a touchdown pass tonight. Didn't make any big boo-boos either. Had one interception that wasn't entirely his fault.
No, he was a good decision maker throughout the night. He has made a tremendous difference in this football team over the last 2 weeks.
35-24 the final score for Temple tonight. They improved to 5-5 and 3-3 in conference play. Coming up next, BYU versus UNLV. But first, we've got to go back to the studio for College Football Scoreboard.